Olito chamawengapa hentok himok pisama shapisa la shake anayan easy ayayan is bussin'. I have to talk about this. I have to talk about this. You see here I have the haplogroup badge of Stone Age. And it says right here, the haplogroup is dated to Stone Age, an early prehistoric era in human history characterized by the use of stone tools. A more specific group within more recent times will typically be found by a big Y test. All right. Um, so here you have early Homo sapiens. I probably can get back that far. But right now I'm right here. So this will be considered genealogy by those who like to say they don't like to take DNA tests. But I wanted to talk about how um, people are people are talking about uh, their Cherokee. My grandma was Cherokee. I'm not an African. These people. And I don't know the construct of that because I never went through that phase. But it seems like a lot of people are dealing with. I see the long hair, I see the fair skin, and they don't think those people are mixed with white European. I'm on TikTok tonight, and I'm just listening to these shows where people come on there and they debash Africans. And I just got done listening to a show where a guy was on there. I forgot his name. I think his name is Millionaire or Billionaire or something like that. Um, use it was a long name, but he was basically saying like my lineage is here in America, but I know that I'm African. You know what I mean? And my response to like listening to that was just like, how do you not know that you're not African if you have all the railroad systems here, all the railroad systems. You have airplane technology, means you could take air flight. You have ships. People say, well, I want to find a boat because my family didn't come over here on the ship. Well, it's like if I look at Uncle Tom's Cabin and I see uh, these people who look like me coming across on the train and it's a flag on there dispatched. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and say, well, that didn't happen when it's depicted in a movie that really happened. You know what I mean? Like this technology just came here this decade or something like that, this century. That's not true. This technology has always been here. We've had better times. We've had better times and better outlooks on life in the past than we see right now. This period right here, 10,000 BCE, was probably better than 2024. Look how many years this globe has been around. Just think about it. So, like, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to these people and they talk about I'm Cherokee and I'm not an African. I'm not related to an African. It's crazy. Like, tomorrow be my third day in water fasting. Today I drank some juice and that was about it. Um, I wanted to get some electrolytes, but like this whole thing about bashing Africans, like it has to stop really. You know what I mean? Because like Africans are the most peaceful people you can find on this globe. They don't give nobody no issues. Like we're constantly in the midst of being attacked, and it's like for what? Like for what? Um, but yeah, like I'm looking through this stuff, man, and this stuff, this is crazy. Like the amount of information that this website gives is crazy. It's very crazy, man. Like it's crazy. Like I'm just going through this and I'm just looking at all the different results that I'm getting, and it's putting me in places that I never thought I would be. But I'm just confused about people who say things like, I'm not African. Like, and they have dark skin. And, well, I'll say this. I don't really hear too much of people saying they're not African that's dark skin. I only see it with people who like fair brown, tannish, like maybe an octoroon, right? 1/8 octoroon. Um, I only see it with people who have like a dark skinned parent and like a brown skinned parent. I only see it with them who come out like a light brown, who kind of look like Brandon Bill from the Suns, the Phoenix Suns. I only see people who come on TikTok saying they're not African, who have his skin complexion, who kind of look like him. The only people who I see saying this, and it's like I don't live around people who look like that, but I've seen people who carry that phenotype. Um, they live in communities, probably the suburbs, and they live around white people. So I'm always wondering, like, do they take favor to white people, or do they take favor to black people? Because I'm wondering, like, all right, or should I say Negroes? Because I'm wondering, like, Negroes are Africans. Their closest cousins, my closest cousin would be an African. It wouldn't be someone that's white. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, what are they trying to get to when they say, when they make, well, they make jokes about Africans. A lot of them make jokes. A lot of them make jokes. And to me, like, I don't know, man. It don't make sense to me. But, to each his own. See what people will see fit to what they have to do. Um, I don't get it at all, man. Cause like I look at it like this, man. Instead of fighting over land, like pick up the idea that, I came to Earth to caretake it. I need to go back to where I came from. People are fighting over soil that they can't even develop. They can't develop the soil. They don't have farming skills. They don't have farming techniques. They don't have plants in their home. And they're fighting over soil. They're not, in sense, it's kind of like where I look at with the the Arab Wars, the modern Arab Wars, where you have a agreement deal to like ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel. These people are not indigenous to the globe in a sense that they come before us and they're fighting over it. Yeah, they're indigenous to all the land masses, but they don't have the first birthright claim. They don't have birthright claim over us. And it's weird because it's like, why are you all fighting over something that you all have no knowledge of to how it came into existence? If anybody knows about the ancient histories, the ancient um, developments, it's black people, really. It's Africans. It's not anyone else. Africans have the keys, and they have governments. Africans, they have a parliament, they have a senate, they have a house, they have all these different governments. Anytime you see the Pope go to Sudan and he kissed the feet of their prime minister and their president, you know it's different. You know something is different about to happen. Because he didn't do that to Joe Biden. He didn't do that to Donald Trump. He didn't do that to Cory Booker or Hakeem Jeffries. He didn't do that to any of them. So it's like I don't necessarily get it when people try to harp down on. They try to harp down on. They try to harp down on Africans. I don't get that. Yeah, I definitely don't get that. So they're saying like, look, I got here I got answer. He said, here are some ancient relatives from your direct father's line based on DNA testing and archaeological remains from around the world. See, they like to talk about archaeological remains. They love to talk about that. But here's the thing about that, though. Here's the thing. They say they found archaeological evidence that they're indigenous to um, America or whatnot, but they don't never say their haplogroups or this or that. They never talk about that. They never talk about DNA. They always say we found remains and I know who my great great grandfather is, or they'll say something like I found who I went back and did history on my 12,000. They'll say 1,200 granny or something like that. They know them. So it's weird, man. It's like, why are we fighting over who is old, who was on what landmass, who did this? Like, to me, like, it's petty. We shouldn't be arguing about any of that. It's like, find out who your people are. Go back and see who's there. Go back and see who's there. You never know what's at the land. You never, like, see, for instance, right? My grandmother, she is from Brookhaven, Mississippi. My second great grandmother. She's the closest grandmother in my direct lineal line who looks like me. My grandmother, she don't really favor me. My great grandmother, she really don't favor me. But my second great grandmother, she favors me. And I'm saying this because we have the same melanin content. She's probably a little bit darker than me, but we have the same melanin hue. And the thing I take most from that is that by them being from Clarksdale, Mississippi, Coahoma, Mississippi, Brookhaven, Mississippi, by them being from these places, I have to go back down there and see what's there. I have to see, like, who are my direct relatives from that area. You know what I mean? Because, like, us living in these large cities in the north, we don't really get the best of what we can get the best of by living in the south. You know what I mean? Like, we don't really get the best of things. And only reason I say that is because in the north, it's largely Democratic, which means all of your offices are going to be held by white people. You go to some of the towns in the south, you have more freedom. You may not want to leave the north because of the snow, but in the south, you have more freedoms. And to me, like, I wouldn't go so far, man, as to be like, you see, like right here, I was showing this on a video the other day, this gene mutation. This is the guy right here. And this is where he's from. He's from South Africa. You know what I mean? So, like, me and him share the same DNA, right? And you look at how far back we go. Like, if you can go back this far, like, it don't matter how far you can go back. Like, you're still a human. You know what I mean? Like, you have 2 feet, you have 2 legs, you have 2 hands, you have 2 arms, you have a brain. Like, of course you're related to the people who came on this earth. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't really be getting what people be arguing about, man. It's like, I would never argue with someone about my ancestry or anything like that. I would never argue about them to the amount of money I got or any of that. I would never argue about anything material. You know what I mean? Because it's like, we're a nation. If you're a nation and you're a man or you're a woman, you're going to want to collaborate with people just off the basis of intrigue. You're intrigued with how a person looks, doesn't matter how they look. Like, growing up, you couldn't tell me anything. Like, I was attracted to any woman who I could find. any African woman, any type of woman, right? You look now, like I have strict standards. Like I want an African woman that I can marry, right? So it's like if you have kids and your kids have to go to school and they have to be around other kids, like what are you going to tell them? To be racist? To not accept a person because they're not as dark as you or because they're white or something like that? Because like how are you going to handle that situation? Like I don't understand like why people make the certain standards for themselves that they make that they know they can't live up to. It's just it's weird. It's weird, man. So this right here is saying I have um I'm related to this person, you know? So I'm glad that, yeah, I'm glad, let me see. Nose Rush was a man who lived in 409 during the Leo was found and already known as he was associated with the Gambang cultural group. His direct maternal line belonged to the Hamlet group. Reference number, you was going to share common paternal line ancestor who live around the sun. Alright. So I had to come with this video. They have a lot of features on here that are updated and kind of different, So let me see. They have a lot of different stuff on here. All right, so what is this? Stone Age. Okay. So I don't know if I just went back further or what. I don't know. But like I'm in Stone Age, you know what I mean? So it's like you shouldn't be letting these Europeans or these other people, however they identify it, American Indian, whatever. You shouldn't be letting them tell you how to think, how to eat, how to dress. You shouldn't be letting them tell you any of that. Like be weird. Like all my life growing up, I've been called weird. Everybody have been calling me weird like all my life. Either weird or crazy. Because I don't like to talk to people or whatnot. So it's like you see all these DNA chambers. My bloodline is Stone Age. It's Stone Age. So if my bloodline is Stone Age, why in the world am I trying to be like them? Like, say, for instance, right? You have people out here. My bad, I'm kind of belching. But you have people out here who smoke cigarettes. You know what I mean? None of it, like all our illnesses that we get are not Stone Age. So it's like if you're Stone Age and you're sick, it's maybe because you're putting a mutation in your body that doesn't share common ancestry with this person right here, this gene, or this gene right here. You don't share it. So it's like if you put a mutation in your body and it's not supposed to be there because it's not Stone Age, of course you're going to get sick. And you see right here it says he was associated with a South African hunter-gatherer cultural group. So if you're a hunter-gatherer, that means you ate the monkey. You know what I mean? Like a lot of different stuff, man. So it's like I don't know where people be going when they just try to make it seem like they're better because they're different or because they go by the status quo. You know what I mean? Like you have celebrities that just they try to portray the image that they're just supreme, and that's never the case. Like you find out how they really live, you would be surprised. But then you see how they are portrayed on television in the newscast. It's like And I'm talking about these country rock people, or however you these pop artists, or however you want to term them. That whole cultural group, Europeans, that whole cultural group. You're not accepted if you don't do what they do. That's basically what I'm saying. So, and here's another one, right? Kissy, right? I'm subscribed to a guy on YouTube who's Kissy, and he tells me about his people. He has a farm. He's doing all type of stuff with his farm. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, attract people who you know are you, man. Like, I would never. I wish I would have learned this earlier, right? I wish I would have been more disciplined when, like, in my earlier ages. It's a lot of different things. Like, I wish I had like a video camera or something like that. Like when I was like 15, 16, something like that, where I could just like go around and interview people, like, you know what I'm saying, like who had African features and stuff like that. Like, I wish I could have did that, because man, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's I want to know back. I want to know how far back I can get. You know what I mean? I want to know who my first ancestor was, my second ancestor. I want to know all of that. I want to know who my first family was. Wife, husband, children. I want to know who that first group was. And I wish like the government would do satellite retrievals where they can zoom in. Like, maybe you can go to a museum, go back to 1600s, and people who lived out in the open, zoom in on their cameras and capture their faces. See how they was living. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's public domain. I wouldn't get mad if the government came on my house and I was in there doing whatever I was doing. You know what I mean? Like, this information needs to be out, man. Cause it's like what we see with like civilization today, it's no better. A lot of people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and they're not getting called out on it. Like, you see all these houses in a community, you don't know what people are in there doing or what type of illegal activity they're doing. You just don't know. So we need to go back to the Stone Age. You know what I mean? Like, unveil this technology. You know what I mean? Because, like, to be honest, a lot of people don't want to be on Earth. A lot of people want to go to Mars. A lot of people want to go to Saturn. A lot of people want to go to Jupiter. People don't want to be here. People just do not want to be here. So I love this website, man. Like, it has so much information. It has so much information. Like, you wonder, like, what type of sense did they have back then? Like, smells, like what type of smells did they have? What type of taste did they have? What type of sights did they have? What type of hearings did they have? Like, people listen to trap music today and they think it's new. I would have loved to see what type of trap music they was making in the 60s. You know what I mean? Like Chicago trap music. Like, we always look at images of the 1960s that's in black communities. You know what I mean? Like, the males specifically and how they dress. And like, it always excites me because it's like the plot's thinking. You know what I mean? So you got this information. You got this information. This is critical information. All right. So it says these are some of the people I'm related to. You know what I mean? Like, they like to call these the Neanderthal man and all that. Like, nah. Like, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like, this is what I want to see. You see this? Like, this is from 1820 Common Era. I thought that was going to say BCE or something like that. This is from 1820. Like, look at how he looks and look at how he's dressed. Look at the hat he has on. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm part of the Perry family through Washington D.C. I have the family reunion photos, everything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm part of that family, and I'm also part of the family here. And some of us don't know it though. That's here, but in Michigan, this Perry family in Michigan as well. So I'm part of them, and they still look the same. That's what I'm saying. Like, this stuff, man. People know who they are, bro. Like, this crazy. Like, this is crazy, bro. Like, then you got Chris Rock. You got this person right here. Look at his name though. You know what I'm saying? Combo. 1634. I wish I would. I wish I did. Like, people think I was just talking to this to a guy about this. I was getting an Uber ride, and we was just talking about this. He was like, "Man, it's not a flex to say you Native American." I agree with him. You know what I mean? Because a conversation sparked up, and like, I wish I was just saying it's like I wish I was. I wish I did come over here on the ship. You know what I mean? And have my own ethnogenesis here on America. Wow, like, to say like you have that on your belt, like you grow cotton, you pick the cotton, and you came over here from Africa, and you fought back against, you know, your enslaver, and you made it out of that. Like, that's a flex. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what people be thinking, bro, but like, I really get it now though. Like, from all the mixing that we've done, bro, like, it makes sense now. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. People just, they don't like dark skin, and that's all it is. Cause like, if that were the case, like, they wouldn't be showing you commercials every day about people who don't look the way that they really should look. Cause like, America is a black country. Like, the darkest of darkest are the first people wherever you go. So like, what people saying like, you African, you not Native American, you not American Indian, you don't have first claim. Like, can't tell an African anything because they the purest blood. Like, it says right here, why would they lie? Unless America was called Africa back in the 1600s. Because like, all the manifestos you look at from that period in time where it says something like African, or it says something like this person, he grew cotton, or this person, he grew tobacco or something like that, and they turned him an African or a Negro. Why were they doing that? Like, what was the maps? What did the maps look like back then? You know what I mean? Because like, if they're calling him African, and you're saying, well, this person didn't come over here on the ship from Africa, well, why is the people in Africa called Africans now? That just lets me know that there's one common ancestor here in America. Not, like, you really don't even have to do that. Like, a white woman was just on one of the TikTok lives blowing up people who was calling themselves American Indian. She was basically saying like, I can show you right now how you look like a Nigerian, to this person who kept saying they was American Indian. And she showed the picture of them and they looked just alike. And they wasn't even dark skinned. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, if you can show me a picture of two tan people that look alike from different continents, I know all Africans are cousins, wherever they may be. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got Chris Rock right here. So we share lineage. Like, that's crazy. And like, me and Chris Rock, I'm probably a little darker maybe, or the same complexion. Depending on the lighting, depending on the camera equipment, depending on what I ate that day. It's all the same. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what people be getting at when they be saying that type of stuff, man. But to be African is a flex. You know what I'm saying? It's a flex. To me, it is. To be from, you know what I'm saying, to be Stone Age, like, it's a flex. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like how someone who came later is going to tell me how I need to eat, how I need to smoke, how I need to drink, how I need to look, how I need to act. Like, how are they going to tell me anything of that nature? Like, how can they tell me anything? You know what I'm saying? So it's like all I think all Africans have. I think all African Americans probably have this DNA, depending on how many times they mix with a black person that looks like this person right here, Albert Perry. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends. Like, this person right here probably has white DNA. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you go back in this lineage, you're gonna see someone who looks like Chris Rock. You're gonna see someone who looks like this person right here in this image. You know what I'm saying? So it's like big deal. But people gonna find out the truth eventually, and they're not gonna like what they see. Um, right now, it's like the mother's trying to tell the baby to go to sleep right now, to get some rest. That's how people are acting right now. They don't want to go to sleep. They want to stay up and roll over in the bed. You know what I'm saying? They just came from the hospital. They're trying to get some fresh milk. You know what I'm saying? Even though they just got done drinking some fresh milk. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's happening right now. To me, like, it's crazy, man. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So let's see where we can go now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're basically, that's what they're saying right here. We have a connection right here with these. I don't know if this is a person or a tribe. I'm not sure. But we share a connection right there. I want to see if I can get back this far. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Early Homo sapiens. I don't know what that is. I think we did just go back that far, but I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, like, I don't understand people sometimes, man. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? So like here, you know, what is this, China? You know what I'm saying? Like, people just should be grateful though, like, that they even can say that they're human. You know what I'm saying? They should be grateful. You know what I'm saying? Like, however you look, however you think, like, be proud of that. Be proud of it. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, however you got to America and you got to experience the certain freedoms that you did, you need to be thankful for that. But, like, even as we see, like, these cops and stuff like that, they're nihilists. You know what I'm saying? So they're neo-Nazis. So they're in the street harassing people, handcuffing people, putting them in squad cars. They believe in wiping people out. There's every time you see a neo-Nazi marching or something like that, they all look like cops. This is why you always have a group of European males who go into law enforcement. They want to be FBI agents. They want to be local precinct officers. They want to be the president of the commissioner club. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to deal with that. We have to deal with that mechanism of that ignorance that we have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's crazy, man. Like, I wish that we were still living in Stone Age. You know what I'm saying? Because like the politics now, like modern, it doesn't do people justice. It really doesn't. It doesn't do us justice. So like, just think about what I said though. Like, what would you rather be? Would you rather be European or African? Those are the only two mutations that's on Earth right now. Europeans and Africans. You got Asians that want to be African. You got Asians that want to be European. Those are the two leading mutations on Earth. You go to a hairdresser in Asia, they can give you braids. You go to a club in what, North Dallas or something like that. You had a comedian club. Everybody in there want to be Richard Pryor or something like that. They want to crack jokes. White people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't ever think that, America, to me, like, in this age that we're in right now, I don't think people are smart enough to live like we lived in the Bronze Age. People just rely on technology. Like, a lot of us don't have toolkits. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us don't have drills. A lot of us don't have like any raw material that we can use to build something in our backyards. A lot of us don't have none of this stuff, man, because it's like we've been taught to believe that having a job is the most important thing to do, the most important thing to have, and it's not. Like, they just sent me an invitation to go to an interview for a railroad, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna go. And if I do go eventually in the future, it wouldn't be like I want to make a career out of it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I enjoy my peace. I enjoy living at home. I enjoy being at home. You know what I mean? I enjoy sightseeing. I enjoy easy living. I don't like being told when to come to work, how to dress, how to think, how to eat, how to drink, how to smell, how to see. I don't like people telling me any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to live life on my own terms. And I think everybody should want to enjoy that freedom. That's what America is about, freedom. You know? And I think eventually, as far as the violence in America, I think eventually we'll curb it. I think eventually we won't need news stations. Because right now we're in a police state. So it's like we need news stations. We need to see what's going on in our communities. But that's all I want to say in this video. I hope you all find it a great blessing to share Thanksgiving with your family tomorrow. If you're one who eats turkey, I would say enjoy the turkey dressing. Enjoy the deviled egg. Enjoy the yams, the sweet potatoes. Enjoy the pumpkin pie. Enjoy the muffin. Enjoy all that good stuff tomorrow. Because Christmas is almost here too. Like, enjoy all of it. This is the favorite part of the year, man, when you get to experience Thanksgiving. You get to experience Christmas. You get to experience the New Year. And people who live in places like Colorado, they're going to really experience the joys of it, because, like, their roads are fixed. A lot of people in Detroit and Michigan, in Muskegon, they're not going to be able to enjoy their holidays, their Thanksgiving, their Christmas. They're not going to be able to enjoy it because their country is not developed. Their streets is not developed. They have messed up roads. They're going to go outside the house and see an abandoned crib. They're going to see dead carcasses on the ground, like dead dogs and stuff. They're not going to be able to enjoy it. So, like, be grateful for what you have, because a lot of people don't have anything. You know what I mean? They don't have anything that they can just say, well, this is mine. You know? And, like, be careful. Also, I want to say this. Like, be careful about the company you accept. Be careful about the company you accept. Don't just accept anybody around you. Question everybody's automotive. You know what I mean? This goes into like another conversation about Africa. You know what I mean? Like when I'm on TikTok and I see like interracial couples, I go to the next video. It's usually a white male and an African woman. I go to the next video because I think like she has low self-esteem. She has to have low self-esteem. That has been the war since Stone Age. Stopping mutations from happening that shouldn't happen. Because this is why you got all the confusion on the earth now. I believe in apartheid. We shouldn't be race mixing. And like I'll catch flack for that, but it is what it is. You got all these people in the community now that goes against what Africa looks like, not what they're doing, but what they look like. Because they have that white mutation in them. They'll wear the Jordan shoes, but they don't necessarily agree with, you know, whatever may be going on during that time. They want to talk about the Jordan GOAT conversation, the LeBron James GOAT conversation. You got a lot of that going on where it's just like people just, they take credit from people. And a lot of that hate comes from different orders. Because everything has an order, whether you want to talk about masonry or not. Because like, you look at some of the people on YouTube who talks down about LeBron James because of his family, right? And you say, well, why is that happening? And it's like, because it's a mutation somewhere in there. Somebody came from some background. They feel like they have to talk down about him because they heard something about him or somebody close to him. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, we need to go back to not necessarily republics, but like Stone Age governments where like people know who they are, and that's all it is. Like, think about that, Joe. Like, we're like right here, right now. This is where we're at. Imagine going all the way back. Like, what would you see? Like, what would you see if you went all the way back? You would see people walking to other planets. Stone Age. Like, people want to say modern, and no, they had technology back then. You just don't know what type of technology they had. Like, people had computers in their homes in the 90s, but a lot of people thought the computer came out in 2003, 2002. Technology been existing, man. We just don't know to what extent. It's somebody in that house right now, they got a flying saucer. You know what I'm saying? That can take them to whatever planet they want to go, because we're dealing with probability. So it's probable that someone has it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can go to another planet right now, and they probably are on that other planet right now as we speak. Going to leave traces somewhere else. Start a tribe somewhere on another planet so they can say they was there first. You just never know. Like, in these days, like, I'm in my mid-30s, so I'm just looking at like, I'm looking at stuff like science. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I want to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to deal with anything else, man, because it's like the world is out of control. The world is out of control. But that's all I want to say in this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Stay blessed. Enjoy the holidays. Great peace. Yakoki.